All right, let's get right into it. If you're thinking about becoming a pharmacist in the UK, you need to know that the game is changing in a huge way. So, starting in 2026, the entire path is getting a major overhaul. This is your guide to understanding that challenging but seriously rewarding journey.
This one sentence right here, this changes everything. Seriously, it's not just some small tweak to the curriculum. This is a fundamental shift that completely redefines the role of a pharmacist within the UK's healthcare system. So let's unpack what this really means for you.
So first things first, why is this such a big deal? Well, the profession is moving way beyond that traditional image of just counting pills and putting them in a bottle. We're talking about a massive leap into a more clinical, patient-focused future.
Here's the key takeaway. As a new pharmacist, you'll be qualified to actually assess patients yourself and decide what medicine they need, all within your expertise, of course. This basically takes the pharmacist from behind the counter and puts them right in the consultation room. You become a crucial clinical decision maker.
Now, to get you ready for this huge new responsibility, the whole one-year foundation training program has been totally revamped. The big focus now is on getting you real-world experience to build those clinical skills. You'll actually have to work in different healthcare settings, like spending time in a hospital and then switching to a local doctor's office, so you get a really broad view of patient care.
That all sounds great, right? But how do you actually get your foot in the door? Well, to practice as a pharmacist in the UK, you have to be on what's called the General Pharmaceutical Council Register, or the GPhC register, and there are basically two main paths to get there. So you've got two main doors to walk through. For UK students, it's pretty straightforward. You do a 4-year Master of Pharmacies degree. But for pharmacists who qualified overseas, the route is a 1-year conversion course. It's called OSPAP, and its whole purpose is to get your knowledge and skills lined up with UK standards. But here's the thing, no matter which path you take, domestic or international, everyone's journey meets at the same finish line. Everybody has to get through these last two big hurdles to finally get registered. It really just boils down to a two-step finale. First, you've got to successfully complete that new 52-week foundation training year we just talked about. And second, you have to pass the big one, the final GPhC registration exam.
Okay, let's have some real talk for a minute. This path is tough. It's really important to go into this with your eyes wide open about the challenges you're going to face. It's not just about book smarts. It's about being resilient.
So what are we talking about? Well, first off, that registration exam, it's notoriously difficult, and not just because of the sheer volume of information, but because it tests how you apply it under pressure. Then, once you qualify, the job itself is high pressure. You're dealing with a lot of patients, sometimes medicine shortages. It's a lot. And for international applicants, there's a pretty big financial barrier to entry.
Just let that number sink in for a second. 3. You only get 3 shots in your entire life to pass this exam. The pressure on exam day is, as you can imagine, just immense. It's a major hurdle where a lot of people stumble.
And for international pharmacists, we have to talk about the cost. The OSPAP course alone can run you up to £15,000, and that's before you even think about paying for rent, food, and just living in the UK for a year while you study. It's a huge investment.
Okay, we've talked about the tough stuff. So why on earth would anybody put themselves through all that? Because the payoff, the reward on the other side, is absolutely worth it. Professionally and personally, it's an incredible career.
When you get down to it, this career gives you two huge things that many others don't: rock-solid stability and amazing variety. Pharmacists are always in demand. They're on the UK's official shortage occupation list, so job security is high. But you're also not locked into one single career path for life.
So, where can this qualification take you? The options are fantastic. You could work face-to-face with patients in your local community pharmacy or in a big NHS hospital. You could work side-by-side with doctors in a GP practice, or you could step away from the front line and work for a big drug company in things like quality assurance or making sure new drugs meet regulations.
And yeah, let's talk about the money, because the earning potential is definitely there, especially if you like flexibility. You can work as a locum, which is kind of like being a freelance pharmacist, filling in at different places. You can make a fantastic hourly rate and have total control over your schedule. So at the end of the day, this is what it all comes down to. Becoming a pharmacist in the UK from 2026 isn't just about getting a job. It's about stepping up and becoming a clinical leader.
The road is tough, for sure, but the chance to make a real, direct impact on people's lives, well, that's the real reward. The only question left is, are you ready for it?